There's something that Mark tells you and I, the reader, up front. In Mark chapter 1, verse 1, he says that Jesus is the Son of God. So as readers or listeners, you and I know from the beginning that Jesus is God's Son. And at Christ's baptism, the heavens were torn open. Remember that phrase. And God says to Jesus, "You are my beloved Son." But throughout the text of Mark, no human refers to Jesus Christ specifically using the phrase, the Son of God, until after the death of Christ. After Christ's crucifixion, a Roman centurion standing near the Savior on the cross says, "Truly, this man was the Son of God." We might read that and think, oh, that's interesting. But here's an insight from the book, The Gospel According to Mark by Julie Smith. This book is awesome. It's more than 900 pages of deep insights, and it shows that in our discussion today, we're just barely scratching the surface of Mark. Going back to the idea that the centurion is the only human in Mark to identify Jesus as the Son of God, Smith writes, 2,000 years of Christian tradition have probably made it impossible to appreciate how odd it was for a soldier to look at the corpse of a criminal and announce that the dead man was God's Son. The parallel with the baptism, where the voice from heaven pronounces Jesus to be God's Son, makes the centurion's exclamation all the more profound, because he is occupying the narrative role of God, when he is the voice that attests to Jesus' identity. Just as the rending of the heavens comes immediately before the divine announcement that Jesus is God's Son at the baptism, the rending of the temple veil comes immediately before the centurion's announcement that Jesus is God's Son. Does that make sense? When Jesus died, the temple veil was torn. The Greek word describing the tearing of the temple veil is the same word describing the tearing open of the heavens at Christ's baptism. So both at the baptism and the crucifixion, there was a tearing and a voice proclaiming that Jesus is the Son of God. At the baptism, it was God, and at the cross, it was a centurion. Julie Smith concludes, Mark's narrative teaches that the death of Jesus makes it possible for a centurion to do what God does. Even a hated pagan soldier can be elevated to a godlike status and possess a godlike knowledge because of the death of Jesus. In this framework, we see the power of what happened at the cross. The Savior's death could take someone far outside the fold and bring them to the inside as one who recognizes Jesus as the Son of God.
To see more videos like this one, simply search Seeking Jesus.